Hi everyone. In this video, we're just going to explain how maths are going to calculate their grades for the 2021 exam series. I'll just run you through the plan of what we think is the most fair way of awarding the grades and how your child can to revise for these exams coming up at the end of May. So the Year 11 plan looks like this. So all the headlines for us are all students to take 2 exams based on the content known to them. High students to take an extra exam to try and figure out those grades from grade 6 to grade 9. This exam will account for 60% of their rank. And then the mock exam results from November will account for 25% of their rank. We think it's important to make sure that prior performance is also looked at, not just this end exam. Teacher input from in-class assessments that teachers will hold will account for 15% of their rank. And this will all be calculated on a spreadsheet, completely open so people can see it, of how a grade has been broken down. The content we aim to cover over the next few weeks on the screen now. So the crossover kids, so everybody will be assessed in 2 exams on these topics here. So percentages of amount, reverse percentages, fractions, ratios, part of geometry, part of statistics, and part of algebra. The reason we want to do that is to make sure everyone has a fair crack of being ranked for their grades. Okay, but we also have kids who will be doing the higher exam. So everyone in the school will do at least 2 exams. There'll be an hour and a half each, like a normal exam would be, and there'll be both calculator papers. The higher exam will be a third paper that only a select 40 to 60 kids will take, depending if they were down to do higher in the first place. The reason we're doing that is to make sure that we can sort the kids from grade 9 to grade 6. All the content in the crossover covers grade 1 to grade 5, touching on grade 6. So it should give us a fair spread. The way we're going to mark it, so they'll be anonymous. So the class teacher won't mark their own kids' work. It will be spread out evenly across the department, so it'll be moderated effectively. And 60% of the content of this grade will come from this assessment. There's no secret what topics will come up. It's up to the child to revise appropriately and to listen in lesson, really, because we're going to cover absolutely everything in here. Same with the higher stuff. We've tried to pick topics we've definitely taught in the past. So we've not touched any topics that the kids would not have seen. So community frequency, box plots, histograms, they have been done by the higher lot in year 10, start of year 11. But obviously, due to the disruption of the past couple of years, we're going to reteach it over the next few weeks. And just to show the support that's available, so to support, there's the Google Classroom. So if I just show my Google Classroom here, you can see on here that our PLC is there, so you can see what topics are there, and then the lessons that we'll be covering over that time. So if you click on there, you can actually see the lesson we covered in the lesson. I've asked my teachers and my staff to keep updating these, and if they're not updated, please contact us, and we'll make sure they're on there. So if kids miss it because they're isolating, they should still have access to a good quality lesson. Another thing, our online resource, Dr. Frost Maths, everything's on here. So when this loads, they should be able to look at something called key skills and be able to look at their own current weaknesses. If you look at key skills, they can click any topic within maths. So we told them they're going to revise surds. So look at surds, or you can look at percentages or anything like that. So if we look on the left-hand side, we'll look at some number work. We can look at fractions. So all the skills for fractions are in there, and you can actually preview it and have a go at it yourself. Okay, so everything's there. It can be all independent. The amount of work you put in will be the amount of work you get out at the end. In order to just be open and supportive, we're very lucky in a sense that over the past few years we've actually done really well as a department in terms of the grades we show. So on here is our awarding of grades over the previous 3 or 4 years. This is the 3-year average. So in our current cohort, we've got 150 students. So our pass percentages mean that we can award 25 grade 7s and above, 89 out of 140, which is about 63%, 5s and above, and 110 grade 4s. So it will mean that some students will get 3s, 2s, and 1s because that's what would have happened in the real exam. And then we think this is the fairest way of kids to be able to show their performance. I think it's also important to notice that there will be a teacher element to this. So if a kid does really badly in the exam, that doesn't necessarily mean they're going to get a bad grade. It means that we will take that into account and we'll make sure that the grade they would have got is very similar to the one they would have done if they took their exam. And that's pretty much it. So if you've got any questions, please ask their class teacher. I think that's really important. Ask the class teacher or ask me as head of maths, and I'll help you out at any opportunity. So thank you very much, and hope this was useful.